Вона пішла.
Vlad, can you see how many people joined us already?
Yep, we have started. So let's wait maybe 1 minute still. So you can join us. So super, I think we can start right now. It's enough people. And
How many people? How many people there?
I think more than 10. Katya told that we have to start.
Yeah,
to
we have to be on track. Cool.
Yep. So good evening, FlowMates community. Welcome to this webinar on the topic, how does the effective combination of no-code and AI can change the global IT industry? I'm your moderator for today. My name is Vlad, and I'm thrilled to have you all join us as we delve into the fascinating topic. Let's get started. For today, we have a unique guest named Yaroslav. He's a co-founder and CBDO of PLATMA, Ukrainian-based extreme no-code platform. And we are thrilled to have him here to share his expertise with us. Thank you, Yaroslav, for joining us. How is your mood for today? How everything is going? Tell us.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Thank you. Thank you, Vlad, for the kind intro and for facilitating this webinar. I think we could jump to my presentation. Let me just share the screen. Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, awesome. Let me show the whole screen. Okay, here it is. I think you can see the whole screen. Yeah. Thanks again for this opportunity, for invitation to be a speaker during today's session, during today's seminar. So, as it was mentioned, my name is Yaroslav. I'm co-founder of PLATMA, but at the moment I'm speaking from the FlowMates Community Association because PLATMA is one of the co-founders of FlowMates Association, and we, with our colleagues, with other vendor companies from low-code, no-code industry, from other IT integrators who use low-code to do digitalization for their customers, and with other investors who created FlowMates Association, working on creating a community of the no-code and low-code. So today, my subject of my presentation is how the effective combination of no-code and artificial intelligence change and will change the global IT industry. So, as I mentioned, I'm representing at the moment FlowMates. Let me say a couple more words what is FlowMates is. So FlowMates is the community of low-code and no-code, and our main mission is to create special environment where main stakeholders could facilitate communication between them. As I mentioned, it's vendors of low-code, no-code, and extreme no-code technologies, and I will share a little bit more information what is extreme no-code solutions. With IT integrators or other subcontractors who help enterprise and other companies do their digitalization using low-code, no-code solutions. It's subcontractors like IT integrators and who help to do digitalization, and actually is final customers who need digital transformation with low-code, no-code. And of course, investors who are also interested in invest in the most hot and interesting solution on the market. So the low-code, no-code FlowMates Association provides a lot of activities during the year. The most well-known is our no-code summits that we already held in Ukraine, in Kiev, in Lisbon, in Portugal, in Almaty, Kazakhstan, and the very nearest will be in Baku, Azerbaijan on 17th of May, but I will share a little bit more information about this in the end of the presentation. So before we will go deeply to low-code and no-code solution, I would like to do a very short and brief overview of the IT industry, which influenced by artificial intelligence and no-code solutions. So, what is the market size? The market size is huge. It's 5 trillion if we are talking about the hardware, software, and services element of the market. Of course, no-code and low-code solutions implemented for the software and services, and it's more than the half. It's actually 60% of the industry, so around 3 trillion. So the market is huge, and it's growing quite rapidly, around 5% every year, and growing we can see for the last decades. And the main drivers of this growth is cloud computing, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and other segments of the industry, IT industry. Employment is also very huge. There are millions of the professionals, and it's not enough even with such huge amount of the users and employees. It's not enough to cover all the needs which we have in this industry. Demand is growing faster than we can prepare IT professionals to cover this demand. This is another driver why no-code, low-code, and extreme no-code solution appeared and covered these issues. It's very simple because to prepare the professional, you have to spend at least 5 years at the university, and then you have to reach some additional expertise during the implementing some project and so on and so on. So it's very long cycle, and low-code, no-code helps us to solve these challenges. Also, this market is very attractive for the investments, and we saw that, for example, in 2023, around 300 billion invested globally. Also, we have to take into account that the internet penetration is growing quite fast and already covered more than 60% of population in the world. And there are more than 5 billion unique mobile users used smartphones, so they have access to the internet, and it's additional driver which bring digitalization to all aspects of our life. And we have to have assets and possibilities to do the digitalization. And that's another example why no-code, low-code help with this. Very important subject is digital transformation. Enterprise companies, they covered already, mostly of them covered already this issue. They do the digitalization using very expensive and awesome vendors like SAP, Oracle, and so on and so on. But the biggest amount of the companies, it's small, medium, SOHO companies, which cannot have this access. And the only way how to solve it is to use low-code, no-code solution. So the market is also extremely big. It's around 2 trillions. Big enterprise companies spend around 2 trillions annually to do digitalization. And there is a huge demand from the small, medium, and SOHO businesses. And this demand is uncovered at the moment. Let's take a look to the approaches which we have on the market at the moment. I've already shared information about them: low-code platforms, no-code platforms, extreme no-code. Let's dig deeply what the differences between these approaches. So when we are talking about the low-code platforms, let me simplify it a little bit. It's the solution which were created by IT professionals for IT professionals to increase their effectiveness. So you have to be a developer, you have to know languages of programming, or at least domain-specific languages. So it's not a zero-barrier entrance to the platform, but you have already prepared elements that you can use to create your software or digitalize business processes, so you can much more faster. But at the same time, you have to have some experience. But there is less limitations in the product that you can create with this platform than, for example, you can do with no-code platforms. With no-code platform, you have very big benefit. You have close to zero entrance barrier to start to use this platform. So you do not have to know the languages of programming or domain-specific language. You have very beautiful puzzles that you can use to create the software or the flow to digitalize the business processes. But there is a limits, because you cannot create something extraordinary with such elements. It's like Lego puzzles that you can use, and you cannot create something which is not presented. New approach, it's extreme no-code platform, AI-based, artificial intelligence-based platform, which combine benefits of two previous approaches. So it's zero barrier to enter. So you don't have to know how to build software, how to build the flow, the architecture of the software. You don't have to understand the languages of programming. You don't have to know domain-specific languages. For example, in case of PLATMA, you have to know natural language, simple English as a code. So zero barrier to entrance, and there is no limitation to create the software. So it's a combination of the bonuses of the two previous elements. So if you will take a look at this side, but there are a lot of other sides that you can see the list of the low-code, no-code, and extreme no-code platforms, hundreds of them, there are thousands of them. So it's a very popular direction, but most of them, it's low-code, no-code platforms, and very few is extreme no-code platforms with artificial intelligence tools inside. So we will leave this presentation, and you will have a chance to check it after. So the main experts, let's say experts who use low-code, no-code, or extreme no-code platforms named citizen developers. So that means that these experts can create software application, can do digitalization of the business processes, but they do not have special education, formal education. They do not study applied math or physics or languages of programming, but they can do it, can create a solution. And the main challenge is to increase the quantity of such developers to cover all the needs and all the demand that we have in digitalizations. And the fastest way to reach this demand is to create solution with entrance barrier, which is going to 0. I would like to show you one example. It's the same pattern which was implemented in computer industry more than 50 years ago. So before personal computer and operating system, the same problem which we have at the moment with in development departments was in computer department. So if some organization would like to do some calculations, they have to create scope of work, bring into special department where a special team will use the perfect cards and will do calculation for you. Then you will have a couple iteration, and after that you will have the result. So the same is in software development departments at the same time. But when personal computer and operating system appeared, that means that we do not have to have this middleman between us and computer. So we can, on the very high level of abstraction, work with computer without any middleman. So we would like to, with extreme no-code, would like to do absolutely the same with development of the software. So the main mission is to liberate companies from IT departments. If we are talking about the companies which main sense of activity is not creating the software, but they use software as a tool, because all the companies that created and the main sense of activity of them is creating the software, they have to have IT departments, like for example PLATMA or other companies which are partners of the Flowmates Association. Yeah, so that's the pattern that we would like to implement. So if we will summarize this part of my presentation, so a combination of the no-code and artificial intelligence could accelerate development. So you don't have to have middleman. The business owner could start to implement the project on the fly without any middleman, without any business analyst, and so on and so on. So there is democratization of the development because you don't have to have a special experience and special knowledge how to do that. It's increased innovation because with such solutions you can create very fast MVPs to test the hypothesis and to create your software. You can enhance productivity and bring in the skill gaps and so on and so on. So the next part that I would like to share with you is professions of the future and how to prepare to the changes, for the changes, because we can feel that the world is changing very fast and the professions changed even faster than the life cycle of the human goes. So for example, 50 years ago or 70 years ago, when you received your profession, it means that you have the whole life and you can use the skills, this knowledge to do your job. But at the moment, we see that everything changed so fast and dramatically that you have to change your expertise more often, even more often than 1, 2, probably 3 times during your life. So, and of course, it's impossible to spend every 15 years in the university to receive the new knowledge, and there should be another solution how to avoid this investment of the time. Couple hundreds years ago, you do not think about this because, for example, your father was a blacksmith, your grandpa was a blacksmith, you are a blacksmith, you have all the equipment, you have all the knowledge that you received from your father, your grandpa, even more. You have your own brand, your second name like Smith, or in English-speaking countries, or Ferrari in Italy, or Kovali in Ukrainian. So everyone in the town or in the village know where you are. You have the leads which came to you to use your services. But we faced with the situation when professions collapsed immediately. When some new technology appeared, it could collapse and destroy the profession which were on the market for hundreds of years. And it's not a huge problem because new technology that collapses one profession generate more than 10 new professions, how to maintain with all this stuff and so on and so on. But at the same time, it's very painful for the persons who were involved in this process and use this profession. So a couple more examples you can see here. Like copywriter and ChatGPT, which mostly eliminate this profession. Just a couple years ago, it was ridiculous to think that some machine will change such professions like designer, copywriters, and so on, because it's profession which require some experience and some from the user. But as we can see, many of such professions just diluted by ChatGPT. Also, let's take a look at the companies which work more than the one life cycle of the human, which also should adapt to such changes. So let's take a look. For example, Samsung, it's a company which almost 100 years on the market, and they started from absolutely different industry where they were involved. For example, they do production of rice flour and noodles for the export. Then they change and shift the activity to textile factory. And after that, they change and started to manufacturing and export electronics. And after 1977, when they entry into telecommunication markets. So what does it mean? That technically it was one company with one name, but in effect, it's absolutely four different companies. And this is the only way how the company which would like to work more than 50 years on the market should adapt for the changes. And the same will be and already appeared with the human. So we have to update our skills and our knowledge more than one time during the life. Toyota, one more example, they started 100 years ago, and they started to sell of weaving looms. And by the way, if you will take a look at their logo, you can see here eye, needle, and the thread. This logo was created for their first activities. Then they started to produce Toyota trucks, and in 2007 they became a largest car manufacturer in the world. Couple more examples that were very successful at the beginning, but then they lost the market. For example, Nokia. So they started with a paper factory, then they started to create commercial and military mobile radio communication technologies, and they produced the first pocket computer, and by the way, they released the first smartphone in 1996. But they collapsed this direction of the business because of the competition with Apple, which won this battle. And the same with BlackBerry. It was one of the most growing company in this field, and they also lost the market when Apple appeared and satisfied the demand of the customers in a more better way. So here we can we can say a little bit about the history of the humanity from the technological perspective. So you can see that here is the fire as the main technology which create the way of life during the very long period of time. Then ship which helped to open new territories and trade appeared, and aircrafts and so on and so on. So bunch of technologies generate the way of life which help us to create new goods and solve the new requests for our customers. You can also take a look at the Michael Kondratyev economic waves scientific researches, which he is the scientist who invent these big waves, which were named after him. That every 50 years, the technological way of life changed each other, and the technology are main drivers of this new way of life, technological way of life. And the sixth wave is related to information technologies and cognitive technologies, which included, of course, artificial intelligence and no-code and low-code. A couple more words about the patterns that we faced with during the last years. It's decomposition of the professions. So human being liberated from complex and routine tasks. So the barriers to enter the profession is going to the zero. So you don't have to spend 5 or more years in the university to become an expert in and to cover some task like with, for example, with no-code or low-code technologies. Also, one more thesis is that anything that can be automated will be automated and is not a task worthy for of humans. That the humans have to shift for more abstractive and more cognitive tasks. And the main skill of the person in the nearest future is to formulate the task correctly. So this is the main skill for the next time. But at the same time, I don't want to say that classical university education is not necessary. Of course, it's necessary because such tools which help us to do the democratization of the professions should be created by someone. But the amount of the experts is much more less than the amount of the citizen developers that we need to cover all the needs that we have at the moment. So more than 99% of digitalization should be covered by citizen developers, and less than 1% should be covered by professions who spend who applied math, physics, languages of programming, and created tools for the citizen developers. So this is how the market will develop in the future. Regarding the direction which are popular at the moment, according to this Statista and Harvard Business Review and Deloitte, there is a forecast growth in demand for this profession is more than 15% per year, and the most demanded profession is data science specialist, it's DevOps engineer, and of course artificial intelligence architect and low no code development. So in the nearest 5-10 years, the most demanded specialist will be low no code experts, and the market is huge and booming. At the moment, the market is 535 billions, and by 2033, the market will be around 3.4 trillions. And as I mentioned, by the way, the main demand will be from SOHO, small and medium companies, which have to implement digitalization of their business processes and which are not satisfied at the moment. And artificial intelligence architect, the market was around 100 billions, and it will increase up to 2 trillion by 2030. So this is the areas where I think citizen developers have to go, because there is a lot of opportunities there already and will be in the future. So I would like to use some time and opportunity to say a couple words about our nearest No-Code Summit. That will be, it's a fifth international No-Code Summit, which will be in Baku, Azerbaijan, on the 17th of May. And there we will have several panels. It's business panel, it's technological and investment panel. And there will be experts, it's members of FlowMates communities, it's C-level and vice presidents of companies in the field of implementing no-code, low-code solutions. It's vendors who created no-code, low-code solution and extreme no-code solution, and it's investors who invest in this solution at the moment. So as I mentioned, it will be on the 17th of May. During the day, it will start at 11 a.m. up to 5 p.m. Hyatt Regency Baku. And there will be offline and online opportunity to attend our event. So here you can scan more information and you will reach our website and you can investigate a little bit more. And you can buy the tickets and register for this awesome event that will be very soon in Baku. So thank you for your attention, and I'm ready to answer all your questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Yaroslav, for such incredible speech. It was really useful. I even did some screenshots about the statistics. And one really interesting thing that you mentioned about the task creation. So the future job for the human will be to create a really right task for the AI. How do you think if it will be possible to create such a thing with the AI? So the right task that will be created from the AI to the AI.
Yes, well, thank you for your question. So the main challenge that we have, for example, in PLATMA company, is to help our users to use their declarative tasks to create the software. So we realize that we have to create this solution that could be used by ordinary people who do not know how to create tasks in an imperative way. Describe the final stage of the product, and the idea of the solution of the AI, artificial intelligence tool, is to translate it into imperative way. So, and artificial intelligence is the main tool that will help to translate it and to make our user become kind of business analyst. And even, let me say in other way, extreme no-code software development platforms, it's like business analysts which work 24/7 and could translate your task into precisely imperative flow, which could generate the solution on the fly. So this is the main challenge. At the same time, the platforms, extreme no-code platforms, will communicate with the users, and the most precisely and correctly request means that you will not have to answer so many questions that could be if your task is not so precisely described.
Really interesting. So the future CVs will look like I can create a task for the AI properly, so it will understand me.
Yes, yes, or my task do not require additional question from extreme no-code software development platforms, so they can understand it immediately. Yeah.
Like the future is here. So the offices will look like the guys with the proper skills to create the task will be against original developers. So right now there are, as far as I understand, citizen developers who are not into coding, but they can create application even without it. And versus them is the like original coders. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. And that doesn't mean that we would like to eliminate, let's say, classical developers. We would like to create the huge amount of the experts who will help to meet this demand and cover the demand that humanity have at the moment with digitalization. Because classical developers, they have so many very complex tasks that they have to cover. For example, they have to create low-code, no-code, extreme no-code platforms. And others, it's 1%, and others, 99% of citizen developers have to use that platform and to cover all the digitalizations. So this is the idea, is to liberate classical developers from tasks which could be covered with low-code, no-code platforms. But at the same time, demand for classical developers is growing so fast, and even with low-code, no-code platforms.
So citizen developers are here to fill this gap between the demand for the original developers. They like to help them, not to substitute.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And at the same time, we would like and we foresee that probably all the users who need this digitalization, for example, owners of the small companies, could cover their issues in digitalization by themselves without any middleman. So I'm I'm an e-commerce entrepreneur. I have my online appearance, and I would like to. It could be several platforms. It could be my Facebook, Instagram, Shopify, my own website, and so on. And I have a lot of routine stuff to communicate with all my customers, to deliver the product, and so on and so on. I have to maintain my CRM system and so on. But with extreme no-code solution or low-code or no-code solution, I can declaratively describe what I would like to have, and we'll digitalize all this routine, eliminate all this up to 80% of the routine, which will help me to increase my business and so on and so on. And I do not have to use any middleman. I can become a citizen developer, but if the solution will let me start to use this product with zero entrance barrier. So this is the idea.
So it sounds like if I need to create like I don't know these applications, I usually go to the freelancer, describe the idea. It's the same flow, but I describing the idea to like your platform, not to the
Yes.
freelancer.
Yeah. So extreme no-code platform, it's a business analyst slash freelancer who can work 24/7 and when you are ready to communicate. So the flow is absolutely similar. If you would like to do digitalization and you do not know anything in this field, you starting to communicate with a freelancer or business analyst who ask you some additional questions to clarify everything, to see the whole picture and so on. So with extreme no-code software development platform, it's works at absolutely the same time. You starting to explain, and the system will start to ask you additional questions.
Thank you for your answer. To be honest, Yaroslav, I can talk with you like hours because you are a really interesting speaker. But we have questions from the auditory. I will redirect to you. The Almadan asking about the PLATMA Academy. is here any plans to create a course for the project management or business process automation?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. Very interesting. I just would like to add some additional information. For us, it's very important to implement systematical approach. So Flowmates association itself not only create no-code summits and create this opportunity for the stakeholders to for the networking. We absolutely realize that we have to bring to the different countries all the elements of the ecosystem. It's solutions itself, it's partners who will use this solution to digitalization for the customers, it's investors who will invest in it, and of course we have to help to grow the quantity of the citizen developers. So that's why, for example, with Flowmates, we created PLATMA Academy. It's, let's say, sub business of PLATMA company, but it's absolutely necessary to promote the approaches, low code, no code, and extreme no code approaches for the users. And our main customers at the moment, if we are talking about PLATMA Academy, it's the switchers. It's the persons who didn't study for software development in the universities and so on and so on, but they would like to reach this market and implement projects and receive the very high level salary, IT level salaries. So that's how it works, and it's, by the way, very popular. And by the way, the very next step is to increase our academy in appearance in Azerbaijan. So it's our next step. We already launched it in Ukraine, in Kazakhstan, and in Azerbaijan and other countries on the way. Did I answer the question, or Vlad, or could you remind me?
Yes, yes, I think so. And also the additional question for me, will on this course be described how to talk right to the AI, or it more something like more complex?
Both, of course, both. So the idea of the courses is to help users to start to use the solutions and to start to use this in a more effective way. So it's a complex approach. How to formulate the requests is one of the very important elements, as was mentioned, by the way, in the presentation. Yeah. And one more thing, it's in Flowmates Association, it's important not only to teach the students to use this solution, but also to help to reach customers. So that's the stage where we, let's say, finished our communication with our students, to help them to find their customers, not only to receive the knowledge.
Super. Denise is asking for this presentation. I think that our community manager will share this after after we will finish. It will be maybe a link to it. And also the question from Andriy. Is it true that artificial intelligence tools will run a code only for small and uncomplicated projects instead of the developers? Or all businesses will use only low-code, no-code AI tools? I think we answered this question while we discussed, but Yaroslav, could you repeat, please?
I will clarify. AI-based solution could be implemented on different scales of the business with different processes, let's say processes. For example, PLATMA was created for small and medium and even micro businesses, let's say SOHO, with very small amount, quite simple business processes, because we would like to create solution for the users who can use it without any kind of middleman. So zero middleman should be between PLATMA and our customers. But at the same time, we have partners like big IT integrators who started to use PLATMA to do digitalization for the big enterprises. And it was unexpected at the moment, at the beginning for us, because as I mentioned, our ICPs was really small companies, but they started to use it, and they covered some part of their digitalization processes for their enterprise clients with PLATMA, and some with other solution which could cover more complicated requests from the customers. And I will share, if you don't mind, very funny story how we reach these IT integrators. When we just launched our product and we decided to go to 10 big enterprise clients to implement PLATMA and to do customization, it was our strategy to have references. We came to Portugal banks, and I was pitching to Chief Digital Transformation Officer of the one of the quite famous Portuguese bank, and I presented him. So that imagine that you can describe like an email what you would like to have in terms of digitalization of your business processes, and everything will appear. And he answered me, so but what is the innovation? I do the same. I describe everything in email, send it to my IT integrator or subcontractor, and then everything is appeared. And we realized that we have to go to such IT integrators to bring to them our solution, and they received such declarative tasks from their customers, and they can implement it in much more faster way and be more effective. And sometimes they even charge a higher price because of the speed. So some part of the task could be covered with artificial intelligence based solutions. Some very complicated solution could be covered with low-code platforms. But even artificial intelligence based platform, extreme no-code platforms, they also have level for developers. So you can, for example, in PLATMA, there are 3 levels. So the IE builder, so it's a layer for ordinary user. You can describe using natural language. The second layer is a layer for business analysts. You can create the flow. And the third layer, it's a low-code layer. You can dig there and dig even to the code and customize it with your software development experience, but you can create whatever you want.
If I get you right, with your solution, it is possible to work even for the different development departments. So if it's something easy, all right, this is for AI digitalization department. If it's something like more complex, it's for this department. If it's like to create a new extreme no-code platform, this is the zero stage of development, the lowest languages.
Yes, that's how we foresee it at the beginning, but in effect, we face that even very high-skilled developers use IE Builder to start the process. So they describe what they would like to have. They describe it in very close to imperative way. So they received very, very precisely developed solution to their needs, and then they dig to the third level and customize it with code.
Okay, amazing. And let's clarify also about the conference. We have the question from Natavan about, is no-code developers in Azerbaijan popular? How many of them? And is it market really interesting for such kind of platforms?
The market is it's international market, let's say, and it's booming very, very fast. For example, why I say that it's international market, that For example, citizens in Azerbaijan can cover the project for Azerbaijan companies and for foreign companies at the same time, like a freelancer, for example. For example, PLATMA work with several governmental and private companies in Azerbaijan, and we see a lot of demand on such solution on that market.
Okay. Will it be possible to ask you these questions on the conference? Will you be there or someone from your team?
Yeah, sure. As I mentioned, there will be 3 panels, and the business panel, the panel where will be presented case studies that were implemented in different countries, and especially in Azerbaijan, that were covered by our company and by other companies which are members of the FlowMate community. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks God, I scanned this QR code on the last slide of your presentation. So I think we can finish. I want to thank Yaroslav for this discussion, for this really interesting presentation. And I got through a lot of slides, as I mentioned, screenshotted. I will analyze it after. Please, girls, boys, managers, if you have any additional questions, you can write down on our email. It will also in the description. See you on the 17th of May at the Hyatt Hotel in Azerbaijan, Baku. Yaroslav?
Yeah. Excuse me, what is the question?
It's not a
yeah. So yeah, thank you again for this opportunity. I hope to see all of you at our No-Code Summit on 17th of May in sunny and beautiful city Baku. There will be really awesome speakers. For example, as I mentioned, it will be C-level or vice presidents of tier 1 vendors. Like, for example, let's share the information who was at Lisbon, and there were vice president of Mendix. It's huge top 3 low-code platform which were acquired by Siemens a couple years ago for 800 million of euros. There were head of software of Schneider, and from Noventic, it's a billion IT integrator, and so on and so on. So such expert will be in Azerbaijan, in Baku. They will share their case studies, how they foresee of development of this industry during the next year, how there will be very precisely applied project which already implemented in Azerbaijan with such technologies where FlowMate's community was involved. So will be very interesting, fun, and I think it's the best opportunity to become an expert in these areas. And this is, by the way, one of our main mission is to help the members of the FlowMates and partners of the FlowMates to reach this expert level without mistakes. So if you are part of the FlowMates, you faced with the best solutions, best partners, and best practices, and you can do your digital transformation in a more effective way. Then study it by your own.
Amazing. So thank you. Thank you, Yaroslav. Thank you guys for joining us today. See you in Baku.
Awesome. See you. Bye.
Все? Катя, ти тут?
With
Я
PLATMA,
тут, і я
some
чекаю,
with
щоб
other
завершити
solution
там на Ютубі.
would cover